What's going on, guys? Thanks for checking out Politics and Live. Hope all my freedom-loving patriots are having a blessed day. Today, we're reacting to two videos that were just dropped these past few days. One is by Boo Diddle, a new guy I just came across, and the other is by Willie Nelson, another guy I just came across. And these videos are insane. Let me tell you, the left calls us racist, they call us bigots, they call us conspiracy theorists, they call us crazies. These videos right here were two of the craziest videos I've ever seen. These guys have gone mega woke, mega crazy. They are just not living reality. And I'm going to react to both of them because I thought, why not show it to the population, regardless what side you're on, to show you which side has common sense and which side is just crazy. It just amazes me how crazy the left is. They learned nothing from this last election, and they will continue to learn nothing from the last election. They just embrace the wokeness, embrace the small minority of their voter base, and we are here for it because they just keep on turning people our way. And we're just going to keep on winning elections. You guys just keep on getting more crazier by the day. Anyways, let's get started out. Please like, comment, subscribe. We are reacting to, let's see, Willie Nelson first. And the title is These Voters Are Crazy. Bernie Sanders AOC rally, which I also went to recently, just as crazy. Let me tell you, I posted that video on my YouTube channel. But we're going to react to this guy because I think there's more better content. Let's get it started, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about or react to in the future. Let's get it started.
The black Republicans.
That they're dumb. They're like the Jewish Nazis that existed back in the day.
We're here at the Bernie Sanders rally where men have gathered with their wives and their wives' boyfriends to fight the alleged oligarchy. Let's go see what's happening. What brought you out here today to the Bernie Sanders rally?
I don't like what's going on in our country right now. I'm just kind of disgusted by it. We have a daughter that is Peruvian and Mexican. She's also bisexual, and she's also Muslim. So she's in a lot of marginalized communities.
Okay.
And we just want her to feel safe in this world, along with her husband. So,
yeah, I agree. Just to give more voice to opposing what's going on in our country right now.
What are you most concerned about with your daughter?
Oh gosh, her safety and his safety as well. He's actually Pakistani, so
none of these people can ever explain how exactly these people are in danger. Wow, these are the same people that spit, attack, and throw stuff at Trump supporters or call us Nazis and white supremacists. Like, this is just insane that grown adults in their late 70s, it looks like, act this way, speak this way, think this way.
Oh, that's very scary for us. We just want him to be safe.
What's the biggest risk?
Oh gosh, what would you say, Dad?
She can't even answer. She can't look. They can't even answer a single reason why their kid is in danger or her husband. That is indoctrination at its finest. That is a sign that you need to turn off CNN and MSDNC because you have been indoctrinated.
I'll let you speak to that.
I don't know. I don't really care for the language that's being spoken right now in the country, and from top down.
Oh, I was trying to pause it and see what it said. Let's see what that said real quick.
Spoken right now in the country, and from.
So it says, Heinz, so they're comparing Trump to Hitler, yet they can never give one single example of exactly what it is that Trump says or has done that's comparable to Hitler. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America.
Top down, they just think that they can discard people without any due process, any rights.
These are the same people, real quick, and then I'll stop pausing as much, who cheered on Trump, who got zero due process. Or how about the January 6ers who got zero due process as well? They only bitch and complain when it's their own side, but when it's the right, they are down for the max punishment every single time.
We've enjoyed in this country for the last 150 years.
Can you give any examples of specific language?
How is he a Russian puppet? Give me a single example, because if I recall, he didn't even, go into any other countries when Trump was president. Yeah, he did it under Obama. Yeah, he did it under Bush. Yeah, he did it under Biden, but not under Trump. But yeah, he's a Russian puppet for sure. It makes zero sense.
Let me think about that.
So many things, I don't even know where to start. I would say,
So dumb.
oh gosh, Dan, help. This is
Exactly. They can't even think of a single example. This is how dumb your typical Democrats are these days.
Is Mando a product that does what we
Just
say?
no brain cells.
negative. Just everything is negative. And we come from a place of always helping underprivileged, or, we want everybody to be as equal as we can be in this country. I mean, that was the intent right from the start, and it's just veered very far away from that.
Would you say people aren't equal under the current administration?
No, they're not.
What's changed over the last couple months post-Biden administration for you guys?
Oh, gosh. Once again, where do we start? Okay, you go for this one.
I think, just first of all the firing of all those federal employees, the defunding of sciences, the threat, or not threat, but the actual canceling of grants in our public schools and public schools for research.
Do you want to see AOC run in 2028?
Personally, I do, but I think what we need is
AOC, there is no way she would win across the country. Only states she would win are these very woke states. And these states, Trump has also gained a lot of support in. For example, my state of California. You do not see support for Democrats in the state of California, besides a very few cities, very woke cities. But besides that, throughout the state of California, it's all love for Trump. I mean, Folsom, Sacramento, all throughout the state, El Dorado Hills, Rockland. I wear my Trump gear everywhere, and I have nonstop support. I still, till this day, have not seen one single person who's approached me and said, hey, I hate that hat. Instead, I have women and men on a daily basis saying, I love that hat. I see, because I drive, that is my job. I drive throughout the state of California. I have seen nothing but love for Trump, besides a very few counties.
Is somebody that this country isn't ready to elect a woman. They're just not.
Wow, great comeback. Support, you think he's convincing them is your best interest. No brain cells. Who's the one following a man with the orange makeup and wig? Wow, yep, that's what you guys usually do, attack features, because you have zero policy to hate on.
So I don't think...
While your party was the one who had open borders, you pushed a guy who had dementia across the finish line, then staged a coup against your own presidential candidate. Shall I go on? You guys are not the party of the democracy. I mean, you literally kicked Bernie Sanders out so Hillary Clinton can run as the presidential nominee. You guys are a joke on the left.
That's the best candidate to put forward. I think she's a great voice for us, especially as women, and for people that are, I don't want to say underprivileged. That sounds awful. I'm trying to find the word. Oh gosh, marginalized people. Yeah, and I know that being a white person, I have that privilege, and so that makes me all the more want to help others. Because I can. That sounds terrible, but
do you think all white people have white privilege?
I do. And my daughter kind of has had to teach me about that, because at first I bucked that system. I was like, oh, but your father and I have worked really hard for everything we've gotten. She said, Mom, it's not about that. It's just about that systematic.
I love how when he wins with 1% margin, it's not a blowout. But when the Democrats win barely, oh, it's a blowout. He won every swing state. Keep crying. Trump is your president, and we will continue to win, because brain liberals have learned nothing from your election loss. Continue that woke shit. It's worked very well so far, and it won't work at all still. So you keep pushing that.
Oppression of certain peoples throughout this nation.
So would you say someone who grew up in maybe like a trailer park and as a white person still has white privilege?
Oh God, it's so hard. You know how they might is if they're walking into a store, and my daughter's Latino because she's adopted, and for her to walk into a store, especially when she was younger, it's very different than when a white person walks into a store. Like, she had some discrimination.
These liberals don't even know that it was the Democrat Party that were the KKK, Margaret Sanger, which I would suggest all Democrats to look into, who created Planned Parenthood to kill black babies. Their words, not mine. Literally supporting the KKK and the party who created Planned Parenthood to kill minority babies. That's who these idiots support.
We saw that. At first I was like, oh, I don't know if that's really happening to you.
What part of the country?
This was in California and then in Bend, Oregon. Yeah. Like we started doing things like you go in this.
And these are kind of more progressive states.
Yeah. It happens all over. You know, I mean, we're from here. We love it. We're glad we're here. But yeah, so train of thought. Yeah, you know, I think speaking of white privilege, Dan, you want to talk a little bit about that?
About white privilege?
Yeah, and it's somebody in the trailer park. Do they have the same?
Yeah, well, I just think that they are able to walk anywhere they want to, and they're not going to have people staring at them or questioning, what are you doing here?
These same liberals don't realize how racist they come across when they speak like this. Only liberals are the ones that think this way about black people. For example, I reacted to a video a couple weeks ago with these white liberals saying black people can't get IDs. They don't have the necessities to get IDs. Like they don't have the internet, they don't have cell phones, they don't know how to walk or drive to the DMV. Like they don't have a job to be able to provide for themselves to get a $20 or $30 ID. This is the racism from the left. Again, they were the KKK, and still till this day, they are the racists. Hence why they think that black people can't do anything themselves. It's just so ignorant. It's such an ignorant way to think. But what should we expect from the Democrat Party?
You don't think white people get questioned at all?
Not as much. I don't think so.
Not as much.
Yeah, I mean,
But some still do.
Oh, absolutely.
if you're, I think an economic situation, yeah, if you're in Beverly Hills.
The guy was an illegal immigrant. He was already illegally here. He beat his wife. He trafficked people. I mean, it's already been exposed. So obviously you watch CNN Dash or MSDNC, because if you would turn that off and use your actual brain and do some independent research, you would see that that guy was an illegal immigrant and he was a gang member. We don't need criminals like that in our country. If you want them to stay here, let them live in your house, which we all know you wouldn't, because all you leftists do is talk and support criminals. It's really that simple. You guys said zero about the hundreds of thousands of kids that were missing under the Biden administration due to the open border, but yet one illegal immigrant who should have never been here, who is a criminal who beat his wife, you are supporting, which shows you're ignorant, shows you're a dumbass, and you have no clue what you're talking about.
And you're in a golf resort, something, yeah, you may get questioned, what are you doing here? But I'm just talking about like generally in society. I don't think that you're going to come across.
Oh, so he didn't beat his wife? Is that what you're saying? He didn't beat his wife. He wasn't here illegally. You were so dumb.
Comfortableness as much as people who are colored do.
So one of the first things we did when we got to this rally is we had to go through security where we emptied our pockets and our backpacks. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of surprised they don't just have an open gate policy where anyone can just come in. What brought you to the Bernie Sanders rally today?
Let's go for an easy one. The 9-0, the Trump ignoring the 9-0 Supreme Court ruling. Basically, he doesn't really believe in the courts or democracy. So Bernie Sanders does. And so I want to bring democracy back. I could go on for hours, but keep it simple. And there's an easy one there.
Who do you think is the current leader of the Democratic Party?
Nobody. Chuck Schumer is nominally in charge, but everyone kind of hates him. That's it.
Who do you want to see as the leader?
Bernie Sanders, AOC, and anyone of their ilk. Yeah.
Who would you like to see run in 2028?
Dude looks like a dork.
I got a Mazzato knife, and what followed was an absolute fiasco. So
At this point, there is no real front runner. Bernie Sanders would be the best. However, I don't know.
I don't need to look it up because I already see countless people talking about it and I already looked into it. You were like the last person I really care to debate at this point. You can keep on thinking what you're thinking, but I could really care less what you think.
If he's up for it, next best would be AOC. However, someone should emerge in between then and now, hopefully.
Why do you think the Democrats lost last November?
Oh, because they take bribes from the billionaires. They, just like the Republicans, take bribes from the billionaires. However, the Republicans are suckers and they believe what the billionaires say, whereas the Democratic voters, are stupid, but they have just enough brain cells to know that they're being deceived, and so they didn't show up. And that's why the Republicans constantly are very energized. They believe their billionaires' lies, whereas the Democrats are constantly very low energy because they know their billionaires are lying to them. Bernie Sanders doesn't take bribes from any of the billionaires, So we know he's actually
Yeah, he just takes the most from Big Pharma. Look into that. He literally takes the most money from Big Pharma.
not blatantly lying to our face.
What messaging would you suggest the Democrats go with to be more compelling to voter bases?
They need a simple tagline. And the tagline is, dead serious, tax the rich. That's all they need. And anyone who opposes that line, guess what? They're a tool. Everyone knows the billionaires pays less than the average person. They always take the money and they store it away in other countries. And they just take the money that they save from their tax breaks and use it to bribe politicians. A simple tax raise of tax the rich, put it on hats, put it on shirts, put it on billboards would be record-breaking. Tax the rich. Say it.
Where does the rich begin at?
Oh, you can go on that forever.
These same clowns had Elon Musk, George Soros, all the billionaires that are now kind of supporting Trump in a way because they're waking up and seeing how the Democrat Party is a cancer and just wants to take all their money away and just tax them out the ass. But before, these same people weren't bitching when they were in the Democrats' pocket. But now the fact that they are actually supporting Trump, oh, they're going to cry victimhood all day long and say, tax the rich. That is literally all they say. They're taking your Medicare, they're taking your Medicaid, and tax the rich. The Democrats have no policy plan at all. This is what I'm saying. Dude. No one cares what they say besides a very small minority of sheeple that still follow along with these false allegations and fear-mongering.
Let's keep it simple for now. The billionaires, also foreigners who have more than 500 million. Let's keep it simple.
So, billionaires, not millionaires.
Everyone in the United States worth 1 billion. Let's start there, and then we'll work our way down.
How?
Keep it simple, you know.
What tax rate?
We should do the progressive tax rate, where your tax rate increases for every, I think it's $20,000 as you go higher. So the first 20,000 you get nothing. The second 20,000 you get higher. The third 20,000 you get higher, and so on and so on and so on. We used to do this in the 1950s. In the 1950s, we had the golden era. We need to go back to the 50s. That's the second cash raise.
I got more back on the last Trump administration than I ever did when it came to my tax return, so that just doesn't add up. Sorry, Dash. I know you have Trump derangement syndrome, but I'm sorry. The facts are the facts. Everyone I know got more back when Trump was first in the White House during his first administration during the tax break. So, I mean, you can keep saying what you're saying. It's just it's not followed by any facts. Sorry.
Tax raise your chat. Tax raise number 1, tax the rich. Tax raise number 2, back to the 50s. Bring our tax rates back to the 50s. We know it works. We know it works, and we know it works against fascism because it literally was a tax rate we used to kill the Nazis and to start a fight against the Stalinists.
Do you think the Democrats went too far with the woke ideology?
No, they didn't really care about it. They just used it performatively. Hillary Clinton went up. Hillary Clinton was against gay marriage until it was convenient for her. It's very similar to how Disney uses, fights racism. They do it when it's convenient. When it's not convenient, it's gone. The primary goals for the corporate Democrats is getting tax breaks for the rich so they can receive more donations for them. People like Bernie Sanders who don't take bribes, they actually care about minorities. They care about black people, blah, blah, blah. They don't want race riots because race riots come when minorities...
Well, these are the same people that supported BLM. Yeah, they don't want race riots, yet they actually pushed the riots when it came to BLM, which is just a scam by large mansions. All they did is put all those money into these trans organizations, which pushed these trans weirdos on little kids. I forgot, what was it, Drag Queen Story Hour? A lot of these millions went to these trans movements. Disgusting. Had nothing to do with black people. It didn't benefit any black people. Actually, black people were kicked out of their own businesses due to the riots. Yeah, nothing good comes from it. So actually, they were the ones promoting the race riots.
know they're getting...
You're saying you don't think Republicans care about black people?
Oh, yeah, they hate them. They hate them. They love using them as a cudgel.
What would you say to black Republicans?
That they're dumb. They're like the Jewish Nazis that existed back in the day. They're like gay Republicans. They're like trans...
Do you think Ben Carson, the doctor, is dumb?
Yeah.
This dude's crazy.
So last night he used him. Honestly, nothing but...
If you've ever seen the movie Django, you have your house, let's call them slaves. You have your house slaves, and you got your field slaves. And they pit the two groups against each other. It's very simple.
The slave owners were the Democrat Party. That's exactly what it was. And they actually fought to keep slavery, while Abraham Lincoln and the Republicans fought to end slavery.
Republicans, or rather, the conservative party in the South, has been using the fear of black people to suppress white people since before slavery existed. And they do it to this day. Obviously, back in the day, it was the Democrats because they were the Southern racists, and then
They still
parties
are.
flipped in the 80s, blah, blah, blah.
What do you think about biological men competing in women's sports?
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. How many biological men are competing in sports? Like, I think it's like
This
20.
dude's a soy boy. He's probably never been laid in his life. Oh my gosh, it's amazing just how these guys act in general. You could tell you got triggered right there. I have reviewed and reacted to videos of Pierce Morgan going into detail, talking about how thousands of women who have worked their whole lives to get into a spot where they are for a state championship, they go to the Olympics, they practice and work their asses off to get to this moment, and they have it robbed just like that because a man is too weak to race, fight, or go into his other sport, his own sport with a man. And so they go into the women's sport. We've had women and men's sports separated forever. There's a reason behind that. But this clown right here, he doesn't give a F according to him because he's probably never played sports. He looks very out of shape. He definitely doesn't take care of himself. He probably has never played a sport in his whole life, so he wouldn't understand.
20? Literally 20. This is an example. This is an example of culture war and conservatives using the house slaves versus the field slaves.
And we're standing here with the millionaires and the billionaires and all the fascists and the oligarchs, and they're ruining this country. Well, I'm standing here with
Alexis Claiborne.
And you were telling me you're running for Congress.
Yes, I'm running for California District 23 in the 2026 midterm elections.
Okay, and what county is that?
Mostly San Bernardino County. It covers parts of LA County and parts of Kern County as well.
What brought you out here to the Bernie Sanders rally today?
Honestly, it just feels really, really inspiring to be around so many people that have the same values and want the same change that I do.
Who do you think is the current leader of the Democratic Party?
I think AOC. I think she should be, at least.
I'm praying that they run AOC because they will never win another election ever. I mean, AOC is not as popular as these people are. I mean, most of these people at these protests are busted in. I mean, for example, I went to the Folsom one. You never really see supporters for AOC or like the Democrat Party. I mean, it's very rare. I mean, like I said, I live in Folsom. I drive all around Folsom all the time, and I get nonstop compliments on my Trump hat, and I go everywhere in Folsom. But you'll see some supporters of the Democrat Party, but it's nothing like that. I'm telling you, the Democrat Party is a dying breed. That's why the Walk Away campaign has gone very viral on X, where it's a lot of Democrats posting on a daily basis why they are ex-Democrats and why they walked away from the Democrat Party. Because they're too woke. They don't offer any good policies. They are for illegals. They are racist as well. They are for open borders, and they are providing zero benefit for the American people.
Would you like to see her run for president in 2028?
I would love to see her run for president in 2028.
What do you think is the best policy AOC has had passed?
That's a great question.
She can't even name one.
Why do you think the Democrats couldn't win last November?
I think that there is a lot of division within the Democratic Party, and I think...
Please, AOC, run for president. I can't name one single policy reason why you should run, but please run for president.
Oftentimes, Democratic leaders move away from the far left ideologies and policies to try to meet people in the middle rather than staying true to their base and staying true to what the people want.
What messaging would you offer the Democrats to be more compelling to more voter bases?
Find your spine and stand up to the fascism that is taking over our country and our democracy right now.
Do you think woke is dead?
Well, good morning from the hills above Sonoma Raceway as the California sunshine is starting to rise on the...
I don't think it's dead, no.
Where do you think it goes from here?
I think that from here, as a Democratic Party, we can lean into this and we can uplift the wokeness, right? And talk about the pathway to all of these policies and things that most of us here and in this state and in this country actually want to see, and kind of move away from these identity politics that we're seeing.
Now, you live in California, as do I. Gavin Newsom recently said on a podcast with Charlie Kirk that the transgender debate in sports was like an issue of fairness. How do you feel about biological men competing in women's sports?
I personally would ask anybody that is asking about trans women in sports, ask them to name 6 female athletes, because nobody gave a shit about, sorry.
Pierce Morgan has already said there's been thousands. Why should we look it up just because you guys don't know the facts? I mean, you could go on these sites where it shows like the college players. I mean, I see videos at least once or twice a week of women getting their spots taken or records being broken in these sports because men are too weak to compete in their own sports and their own gender. So they go over to the women's sports. That's not taking anything away from the woman, not saying you guys aren't good at what you do, but we have our differences, which is why we've always been separated. So idiots like this woman and that previous man just don't care about women.
Sorry.
You can say whatever you want. We're fully uncensored.
Okay. Nobody gave a shit about female athletes or women's sports until the transgender issues started coming to the forefront of it.
But because you didn't give a shit, you should just allow men to compete with women. Checks out, makes sense.
You yourself, how do you feel about it, despite asking anyone else?
I myself feel that it's 12 people that people are super upset about.
That's
and
a lie.
I don't think that we should be upset about that. I think that we have bigger fish to fry, and that we should be focusing on closing these tax loopholes for corporations and making sure that the ultra rich and corporations are paying their fair share rather than these identity politics.
So you're saying trans women should be allowed to compete in sports?
Yes.
If you had to give Trump credit for one good thing that he's done, what would that be?
Honestly, I do not like Trump, right? I think that he paved the way for people like me to get into office because he's not a politician, and that's what the people wanted. And that was clear in the 2024 election. And I think that that paves the way for people like myself to enact change in our federal government.
What brought you out here today to the Bernie Sanders rally?
You know, I saw there were a lot of artists I like and respect showing up for here. And I thought it was really cool to see people that align with my values showing up for this thing that I believe in.
Do you think
none of these people, when asked, can even give a single policy reason of why they're even voting for him? I mean, he's asked, 3 people at this point? This would be the 4th person right here who can't give any reasons why they're voting Democrat or why they support AOC and Bernie at all. It's just Trump derangement syndrome. One day, I really pray that they will do a study on Trump derangement syndrome and how it took over the culture of the left and how it just brain rotted their brains. And now they don't have free thinking or common sense. It's amazing.
Woke ideology is dead.
I don't think woke ideology is like a real terminology.
No, DEI only hires based off of your skin color. We believe in merit-based and who is most qualified for the job. Again, the Democrats, all they care about is skin color. Hence, they were the slave owners. Dash is saying just an effort to take down DEI is attacking minority groups. This is what I'm saying. You guys are the racists. That's how you see black people. You see minority people can't get jobs and that you should just hire based off skin color. That's how you think less of them, that they are too dumb or unqualified to just be smart enough or qualified enough to get a job. So you think we should hire based off skin color. Does that not click in your dumb head or what? Hire the person that's most qualified. That's not DEI. What you want to do is say, hey, you're black, you're white, we're going to hire you because you're black. No one agrees with that anymore, besides woke idiots like yourself. And I mean, I see videos all day long, minority voters who don't agree with you. I'm assuming you're a white liberal, probably very woke, white old liberal, I'm assuming. Yeah, probably right on that.
I think it's like a fake... It's a fake word that's being thrown around that doesn't really mean anything.
What do you think people mean when they say it?
I think they mean black people shouldn't have rights. Queer people shouldn't have rights. Anyone standing up for any kind of...
You think a black person who says, who talks about the woke ideology thinks black people shouldn't have rights?
I think if you've got a black person using the term woke ideology, like straightforwardly, that black person probably isn't standing up for actual liberation or equality. All the black people I know using that word don't even use it anymore because it's been co-opted so heavily.
Again, I reacted recently. White liberals are the ones who think black people are too dumb to get IDs. I mean, the governor of New York, I forgot her name, recently was on video 6 months ago, I believe it was about 6 months ago, saying that Black people are too dumb to use the internet, to use computers, because they are in an environment where they can't afford it or just be able to use it. They think you are too dumb to get IDs, Americans. The Democrat Party thinks you are too dumb and have no resources to not be able to receive an identification. That's how dumb and low they think of you. They also think that the only reason you should get these jobs is based off your skin color, not because you're most qualified and you're the most smartest person for the job, just because your skin color, you should get hired for it. Literally everything is about race when it comes to the left, but they call us the racists when we hire based off merit, not skin color, which is exactly all the left preaches about. DEI, let's hire based off your skin color, not because you're smart and you have the experience for the job.
By the right, just any shill or grifter trying to get a buck.
How do you feel about biological men competing in women's sports?
I don't think that happens, really.
It does.
You don't think it's happening at all?
I don't think that happens.
Leah Thomas, the swimmer?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot we could get into about that, but I'm not about to go down the.
And I keep pausing it because I'm trying to just debunk every lie these idiots say. I mean, Piers Morgan. I've posted old videos in the past where they actually go through like thousands of women who've lost these opportunities because men are too weak to compete versus other men. So they go into the women's sport. It's pathetic. You are a weak ass man. Let's be clear. There's two genders. If you're born a man, you're a man. If you're born a woman, you're a woman. It's not that hard. I know the Democrat Party can't identify a woman because, well, they're stupid. But yeah, men, woman. You can't change it. It's that simple.
Biological men thing. Trans women are women. Period.
What brought you out here to the Bernie Sanders rally?
Just the despair of the last few weeks, the craziness of the White House, wanting something different, wanting something better.
What do you think is the worst thing the Trump administration has done so far?
Where do I start? I mean, what he's done to the students of this country by kicking them out of the country, their visas, going after them. What he's done to the national park system. I mean, I can go on for hours.
Do you believe America should combat white privilege?
I think people should be aware of white privilege. I don't know if we combat it, but people should be aware that, yeah, I mean, if you're white and yes, there is a lot of privilege that goes along with that.
So once they have the knowledge, what should they do?
Just be aware. And I think the biggest thing in the United States, if you're aware and you put yourself in other people's positions, people who walk in different shoes, I think that shows in life, and then you can have a better understanding.
But once you're aware.
No, I also already did a video. No, that is not true. Making only harder for married women to vote too. That is a lie. I actually did a video on this the other day where actually I go through the executive order of what Trump actually signed. That is a lie that the big media left lied about. Did you even really go in and actually read the full bill that Trump signed, the executive order? Because that's a lie. I'm just saying, it's so easy to debunk these lies. Just look up the executive orders.
Where, like, how do you actively, implement it and change your life?
With compassion and with understanding.
Yeah, having an ID and a birth certificate is so hard to get your hands on to be able to vote.
That's what you do.
Hey, does learning how to use your camera ever feel like you're trying to solve one of these? Well, you're not.
Yeah.
You don't need a copy of your marriage license to vote. You need an ID or a birth certificate. It is not that complicated.
What brought you out here to the Bernie Sanders rally today?
Well, the Metro brought me out here, but I'm here because of Bernie, AOC, and I'm just sick and tired of what's happening to our country in Washington. And I'd like to see people get together like this and make a change and go the other way.
What do you think is the worst thing the Trump administration has done so far?
Well, they've tried to suspend the Constitution and turn us into.
No, that's not true. If she changes her name, we will just update it at the DMV. It's really that simple. I don't understand what you're even talking about. You're acting like it's impossible for new married couples to vote. Change your name, update it at the DMV. Get new paperwork. It's not that hard. Like, come on. It's just laziness at this point.
Nation.
How so?
For their own purposes. Well, look at all the things that have been eliminated that our government is doing for the people, that would then enrich the things that have been done that would enrich the billionaires. Musk and Trump are doing this for the billionaire elites that don't care about democracy.
Is there any specific examples?
Specific examples.
They can never give any examples.
I think a lot of the government departments that have been eviscerated, those are specific examples.
Any ones in particular?
Department of Justice,
Where did the Department of Justice go?
Sorry?
Where did the Department of Justice go?
Where did
Still
it go?
there.
It's still there, but it's been eviscerated. People have been fired, and the directors have been changed for Trump's purposes, Musk's purposes.
Yeah, he's the president. He has the power to do that.
Yeah. Which network do you represent, by the way?
I'm independent.
Okay. Yeah.
Who do you think is the current leader of the Democratic Party?
That's one of the problems with the Democrats. We're Democrats and progressives,
Yeah,
and
you're
we
dumb.
can't agree about anything because
Yeah,
we're
'cause you're
independent thinkers. We're not brainwashed. So there isn't really any one leadership. It's going in many different directions. That's why something like this is showing the synergy of all kinds of different groups gathering together to make a statement. That I appreciate. But, it's always been a problem with the left.
Let me tell you, when I went to the AOC Bernie event recently in Folsom, the only people that were supporting AOC and Bernie were old white liberals and brainwashed woke dudes pretending to be women pretending to be dudes, indoctrinated college kids. Besides that, the love for Trump, because I was there again, hundreds of, I'd say more than hundreds of Trump supporters, but all minorities, all genres or genders, which there's two, supporting Trump. And it was the left that was saying, hey, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi. All right, tell me how. They wouldn't tell you how. They just call you names. They don't debate. They don't talk at all. They just attack you, flip you off. They act like little children. They act like spoiled little brats. That's today's left.
So-called left, which is the center in this country. But
Do you think woke is dead?
I don't think woke is a real thing. I think it's something that's made up by the extreme right wing, and they're brainwashing people with stuff like that.
What do you think the right means when they talk about the woke ideology?
They have fear about a lot of things. It's been shown that scientifically people with conservative views are much more likely to have a big amygdala. They're very afraid of a lot of things, and they react irrationally. So this idea that woke is something real, they irrationally respond to that, and they're brainwashed into thinking it's a real threat when it's not.
Do you think biological men should be able to compete in women's sports?
Yep, of course he does.
Well, I think that, that's a controversial thing. There are a lot of things that are controversial that we need to, really sit down.
What's your opinion on it?
I don't have an opinion. I don't even follow sports.
Of course he doesn't.
You don't have to follow sports to have just like a human level opinion on it.
I don't care about the sports. As I said, I don't follow sports.
Do you have any kids?
I do not. If somebody is
We want to
thinking
date
at
someone
5 or
like
6
him.
years old that they're not the sex that their body is telling them they are, and they want to be expressing themselves in a different way, according to what he says is a different gender, and they grow up to the point where they can actually have their body change that way in a rational way with, as many millions, thousands of people have done, and they live as a different so-called gender. I don't have a problem with that.
So you're saying you think kids should be able to transition?
Well, I don't think kids should transition. I think
That's exactly what they're doing, though. That is the craziest part about the Democrat Party, besides them believing open borders and giving illegals all this free shit out of our taxes. They are grooming kids the minute they get into their schools. They are teaching them Marxism. They are saying you're racist if you were born white and you have white privilege right the start they get into school. Also, some of these books they're showing these kids are just disgusting. It's pretty much just porn. I've actually looked into a lot of these books and spoke about these books in a lot of my old videos. It's disgusting. And this guy supports it. The Democrat Party is on board with the grooming of children as well. It is disgusting. They are transitioning these kids before the age of 18. If you are not old enough to vote, if you're not old enough to drink, you should not be able to chop, because that is a lifelong decision that you're going to have to deal with forever. And it's disgusting that grown adults are okay with children doing that. Disgusting.
So they should wait till at least they're 18.
The right age, yes.
What's the right age?
Well, they can start, if they get the right kind of therapy.
Would teenagers be all right?
If they get the right kind of therapy that assures that this is something they really want to do. And then, yes, once they become adults, they can make that transition.
Disgusting.
And that's part of being a free American. You make a choice.
Again, I've already talked and posted many videos in the past. It is happening, Dash. You can disagree all you want, but it is a fact, and it is happening in California. And not just California, around the country. So you can continue to say no doctor will do that, but it is happening.
What you want to do.
But obviously kids live under different rules. Like we can't tattoo kids until they're 18.
It's really not hard to find the proof. Go on X and there's thousands of articles, videos, and proof of it.
We can't what?
We can't tattoo.
Hearing aids, I'm sorry.
Obviously kids live under different rules than adults, than free Americans. We can't even allow kids under 18 to get tattoos without they're not allowed to get tattoos until they turn 18.
I don't know that. That's something you're telling me. I've never heard of that. But
you don't know people can get tattoos and they have to wait till they're 18?
I'm not tattooed. I have no interest in tattooing. I think it's stupid. But
well, they have to wait until they're 18 to buy cigarettes.
Didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Cigarettes, yes, I know that. But what's the point of that?
They have to wait until they're 18 to make decisions.
Cigarettes are dangerous.
Do you think transitioning kids is dangerous?
No. As I tried to explain, you have to go through a process over several years and make sure it's the right thing according to what the experts, the people who are professionals, doctors determine.
We've had a nice morning here at the Bernie Sanders rally, met a lot of nice people. And I think what we've learned is a lot of the people here think Trump has done a lot of terrible things, but when asked for specific examples,
they can never give one.
They kind of struggle to come up with them. I'm Willie Nelson. Don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on X. All the links are in the description.
Also, follow me, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys. Have a blessed day. Peace out. Go Trump.